What is new and out there and appealing?
Argylle is the new film by Matthew Vaughn, who's producer turned director, who has both delighted and appalled me in the past. On the delighted side, I liked Stardust. I loved Kick-Ass. On the appalled side, the stuff in Kingsman,
Yes.
You know, it did the bum note in the first film, and then the second film just seemed to be, you thought that was bad?
We can make it much worse.
We can make it even worse. We also have Matthew Vaughn to thank for inventing Guy Ritchie, because he produced Lock, Stock. So this could go either...
Who knows which way it's going to go?
Who knows? So this starts off in completely naff fashion. Henry Cavill is super spy Argylle, who's got a terrible suit and a terrible flat top that even I felt embarrassed about his hair. I mean, it made Vanilla Ice's hair choices look sensible. He's at a club. He meets a femme fatale, you know, incredibly glamorous. They dance, then they chase, and then, you know, she goes off on a motorbike and he's on a car, and the dialogue is terrible and the action is ludicrous and it's all rubbish. It's a book. Turns out it's being read to us by its author, Ellie Conway, played by Bryce Dallas Howard, Dallas House Prices. I didn't know anything about this before, so I did start watching the film thinking, this is Matthew Vaughn in terrible mode. But no, actually, it's somebody reading a piece of fiction, so deliberately terrible. She is shy and retiring in real life. She travels with her cat in a backpack. She stays out of relationships. She's on a train. A very, very handsome man comes up to her and says, "Oh, is this seat taken?" She says, she looks at him and she says, no, it is taken. It is taken, because she doesn't need anything else in her life. Next thing, a long-haired wastrel played by Sam Rockwell sits in the chair, starts reading a book. It's her book, and he recognizes her from the picture on the cover. This is written by Jason Fuchs, whose name is Jason Isaac Fuchs. Isn't that great?
How do you spell his surname?
Fuchs.
Okay.
I'm
No, you got it right. It's just, you know, it's complicated.
Yeah, okay, fine. But I think I got it right. And who's clearly seen and enjoyed films like The Long Kiss Goodnight, isn't it? And Jason Bourne. And Matthew Vaughn says that this is his ode to action thrillers of the 80s, like Die Hard and Lethal Weapon. It isn't. It's nothing like any of those films. But frankly, that's no bad thing. It's a film in which an author, and again, this is interesting because this is straight after having just talked about American fiction, who writes about, you know, super spy mad worlds, suddenly finds himself in a world in which reality is madder than fiction. Everything goes from bad to completely nuts. And about 50 minutes in, I realized that I was really enjoying myself. Supporting roles by the likes of Sam Jackson, Bryan Cranston, Catherine O'Hara, Dua Lipa, Ariana DeBose, John Cena, Uncle Tom Cobley and all. But brilliantly, what doesn't make an appearance is the leeriness of Matthew Vaughn's previous work. Excellent. It's almost like he grew up or he decided that wasn't going to work, and none of that is there. And a lot of the reason I think the difference in tone is down to Bryce Dallas Howard, who is absolutely terrific in the central role.
She wouldn't be having anything to do with that.
Was my feeling entirely. Yes. And it's not there. As for Matthew Vaughn, in the absence of all that stuff, all his pent-up, you know, energy goes into some genuinely funny sequences, including a finale. It starts with the sounds of Barry White, and there's a lot of kind of it slipping into dance. And the finale, which is oil, ice skating, shooty, exploding stuff everywhere, mad musical fantasia violence, I thought was really quite something. As I was going in to see the film, a fellow critic said to me, what do you make of the Taylor Swift thing? And I said, pardon? He said, what do you make of the Taylor Swift thing? I said, I don't know anything about this film. Is Taylor Swift in this film? He said, no, but you know the thing about, there was all these rumors that Taylor Swift wrote the original book. I said, no, I don't know anything about this at all. So I Googled it, and this is apparently, so when it was said that they were doing this thing, nobody could, they said Ellie Conway, who's the author in the thing, was the author of the original book. Nobody could find out who Ellie Conway was. The Hollywood Reporter was trying to find out. The internet being what it was, social media was trying to identify the author and figured out that it was probably Taylor Swift.
If in doubt.
If in doubt, it's Taylor Swift. And incidentally, I love Taylor Swift now. I mean,
we all love Taylor.
We all love Taylor Swift.
We are on record
We're
as
Swifties.
We are Swifties. And if anyone tries to suggest that she's not, then we're probably going to take against them.
Yeah, and anyone who is annoying the orange chimpanzee that much, good for her. Anyway, this is the most fun a Matthew Vaughn film has been for a very long time.
Very good.
And it's out of control and ill-disciplined, but it's got some great sequences in it. I really like the central performances. Hats off to Bryce Dallas Howard. Good use of pop music and demonstration that none of that awful, horrible leeriness was ever necessary. He never needed it. More of this, please, Matthew.